Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Banana Hockey TV, coming to you guys live here on this Sunday night, and we're covering 239 hockey opening week here. I got your recap. Ratterley, no Pittman, no problem. How good is this team over here? No Regretskis. Was it all hype or overhyped? Plus, how good is Ronan as a centerman? I'll let you guys know here. D. Mart made some moves before the season kicked off. I'll give you my input on that. Plus, Pale Poner. I know the website might say 6-0, but we know that's not true. Just like his stat input is. I'll let you guys know what I feel about Pale's Poner. See, I'm not impressed on that. Plus, should there be any consequences on not inputting stats? All this and more. I'm here coming to you guys live both on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. I'll be taking any comments, any questions from both chats on here. So regardless which one you're watching it from, it's all coming here at the same time. Plus, I'm in the Discord, in the Talk It Up Discord channel, which is open on here. Anybody wants to hop in, just let me know when you're in here. I'll bring you guys in. I'll open up the audio for any questions or any guests that want to hop in there as well. So let's get things started here. Now, listen, now, I was supposed to come on here last night, 10 p.m. Eastern. I had a co-host with me, ready, set to go. We're waiting on the stats to be inputted. Nothing's inputted on there, so I'm waiting. I was hoping to do some stars of the week for you guys, top performers of the week, weak performers of the week, and all that. But we can't do that. We can't do that because of one person on here basically did not input stats. We got no stats then for Ratterley's team. No Regretski's stats are not there. Pale Poner's stats are inaccurate. So I was like, you know what? Let's throw away the stats. We're not even going to go over that. We're not even going to go to that. We're going to go to the good stuff here, what you guys want to hear about anyway. So, it is what it is. I mean, we've got a website, but unfortunately, the stats are not there. And that serves a question on here. I mean, I asked myself, should there be consequences for this? Because here's the thing. If there is no consequences, what prevents a captain from doing so or a team from inputting stats? There really isn't. You know what I mean? It's basically a word of, agreement between the admins, between the league on there. But it just sucks when that doesn't occur, for shows like this. So I could be more, give you guys more analysts on that, more in depth. But I'm going to work with what I have here. I did catch some of the streams, some of the games. So I have my outcomes here. And you guys heard our prediction prior to the season starting. So I'll let you guys know how that all goes down. Shout out some of the guys already here in the chat here. Ratterley, man. What's up, brother? I got a lot to talk about that team, man. If you could hop in the audio chat, you want to hop in there, I definitely got a lot of questions. If not, it's all good. Drug Monkey, man. What's up? Shout out to him as well. He's in the chat. And like I said, you guys have any question, any comments, I will go over those. Let's start on that. So basically, Monday night started the week off, started the season off on there. It was only one series, and that was Mr. Pale Poner going up against Cobb's team. Game 1, 3-2 final for Pale. Game 2, 4-2 final for Pale. And he takes Game 3 as well. That one a little bit closer. Ended up going to overtime. But it's a sweep here for Pale Poner. As far as Cobb, listen, I gave you guys my input on here. I ranked them at the very bottom. Right now, you look at the standings, that's where they are. They did not get a win here in week number 1. So Mr. Hollywood was actually right, but I'm not going to get credit about that. They're not going to say, oh, he was right about that, It's only when Mr. Hollywood says something and they're like, oh, wait just a second here. When something's inaccurate, they'll definitely let me hear about it, but when Mr. Hollywood's right, they're not going to say it. Then I'm like, oh, yeah, he knows what he's talking about on here. As far as Pale, I was not impressed on this. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I'm not impressed by Pale Poner's team here. Yes, they swept on here. They were expected to win here. But listen, if you watch this series, if you watch these games, there was a point in game one, Pale Poner was up 3-0 in the game. And they barely edged it out. What was it, 3-2? 4-2 game two. And then game three having to go to overtime. That could have went either way. That's why I'm not sold on this team. Listen, as far as Cobb's team, you got swept by Pale Poner. They got a lot to work here, man. You cannot get swept by Pale Poner's team. I'm sorry. But maybe it's time for pack it up already. If I'm losing to Pale Poner, I'm getting swept by Pale Poner opening week. That's not good, man. Cobb, I'm sorry, man. So that's all. It was only one series on Monday night. Tuesday is where everything really started going, man. Tuesday, things got heated here. And I want to talk about this Radley squad going up against No Regretski. Listen, everybody, I don't care what you say, man. Everybody in this league, whether you're playing in this season, whether you're a spectator, whether you watch the draft or not, post-draft, everybody had No Regretski's ranked number one, man, coming into the season. I don't care what they say, man. If you go in there and now you say, no, I wasn't one of those guys, man, you're fooling yourself, man. Everybody had No Regretski as number one, man. Based on his draft, based on the guys he got on there, you couldn't question it, man. There's no way. The amount of talent that this captain has alone, plus the guys he drafted. You got BLK on there. You got Vibes coming in there. I heard a lot of good stuff about this man. This is a solid squad. Everybody, you saw the power rankings, including mine, as well as the other Dom Silva's power ranking, Hall of Fame. Everybody had even Yambak decided to put No Regretski's number one. I don't know if that means anything, but he did. So they come in this matchup here against Radley's definitely the underdog coming on here. Game one, which ends up going to overtime. Radley takes it 6-5 final. Game two, overtime as well, but he wins it too. They win it here 2-1 final. And then game three, they complete the sweep. 4-3 is the final. Not only did they win this series, not only did they win games here, they swept. Now, I don't care, two of the games went to overtime. This team was not expected to win this series, man, coming in. And not only did they win it, like I said, they swept all three games on here. No Regretski came up with 2 points out of this. And so I'm looking at Radley's team, you know what I mean? Last couple of seasons, he's had some solid seasons. He's put together a team. A lot of the guys he has on here, he's had them before. But what questioned me on here was the thing with No Pittman. But I guess No Pittman doesn't seem to be a problem here as of right now. Now, this is the only series I could judge this team on it. I want to see more. I want to see what happens in this next week. But solid start, especially when you play No Regretski's first on your schedule. Now you got the rest on there, so they got past that, and that's a really good start for Rat and the squad there, being able to pull up that win. And I was shocked. I'm surprised that there wasn't really much talk on the Discord about it on here, but I am going to mention here. So what is it, man? Like I said, Pittman's not on the squad. What is it, man, about this team? Is this the team that's finally going to get Rat to that championship, man? To that winning the championship here. Is this the season? And I'm looking in the chat here, man. Is Drug Monkey the answer? Is it the goalie that he finally needed, that he got here this season? Because listen, coming in this draft, as far as the goalie pool, it was very slim, man. I gotta admit, it was definitely slim. But the goalie that everybody was looking at, all the captains on here was Drug Monkey. That's why he went for as much as he did. No other goalie came even close to the amount bid that Drug Monkey went. So is that the factor, man? We've seen Drug in the prior seasons take a team, win it, man. What was that Dark Side season? They were not expected to win that season, but they did, man. They did. They came out on top. So is this the answer? Is this the reason why this team is so good? I don't know. It may be. Maybe it is the goalie spot on there, but they're looking damn good. Or was it just a choke job here by No Regretskis? Was it that first series of the season that, you coming in there? Because we've seen No Regretskis do this before. We've seen him lose, then he comes back, and then here he goes, and he gets the big win. So is that what it is? Is it just the opening week, opening season here win by Rat? We'll see. We'll figure that out on here. I think they looked real damn good in this, and when you beat a team like this, where everybody projected this team as number one, you can't take that from them, man. So, and that's why I wanted to do the show here tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have the final stats on this, but this guy's been part of this league, for years now, man, and he deserves the the respect here, the acknowledgement here of this win, and part of the reason why I'm doing the show here, even without a co-host, is for this factor. So, big win. What do you guys think there in the chat? I know I have a lot of guys here in the chat here, man. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. Usually I have somebody monitoring this on here. Go Drug Go, man. Absolutely, man. Listen, a lot of guys may say stuff about this guy in the chat, man, whether they're joking or not, but he's got belts to prove it, man. He's got Vesnas to prove it on here. And is this going to be another solid season? If so, he locks it down between the pipes. They got that chemistry out there. Now, I do want to see when they play 2 series in the week, because we only seen the one. He does have some part-time players, in Rocky, that he can't use in both games. So I want to see how well they perform when they got to play 2 series in the week. And I think we're going to see that here this week. I know some games were rescheduled in the first week. So we'll see if that makes any difference, or if this team has the depth, has the players. What do you guys think there in the chat, man? Awesome. So that was the one series on Tuesday. The other series a lot of people talked about, that was the D-Mart series against Hall of Fame. Another sweep. So it was like a sweep Tuesday on here. Hall of Fame takes game 1 4-3. Hall of Fame takes game 2 4-1. And then game 3 in overtime, 3-2 final, 0-3 here against D-Mart in the first opening series for both of those teams on there. Coming in this series, here's the thing. I did praise a lot about D-Mart's team. Now, I did mention, I said, this team's got a lot of heart, man. And it's either going to be a good thing or a bad thing against this team. What I didn't like was the moves, man. Because I judged this team prior to the moves being made. Now, he's the only captain so far that made those moves, the adds and drops. He decided to drop Sniper, and he went with Scary Terry, a.k.a. What the hell's Flaming Dragon. And then he also swapped it out the defense, Guyneman out, and bringing in Tomahawk. So coming in this. So that is a lot of change on there. What do you guys think about that? Do you think D-Mart made the right move with that? Or was it a bad move? Or is he about the same on there? It didn't really matter. I'll give you guys my opinion here on the ad drop. Number one, I don't think this was a D-Mart move. I really don't. I don't care what anybody says. I think this was a Marty McFly move on here, because D-Mart does not generally, find me a season where D-Mart makes a move prior to the season starting. He really doesn't, man. For him to do this on here, because he usually drafts the guys, he has some confidence in who he drafts. He doesn't just draft anybody. And I think this was a more of a Marty McFly move. I really do. Um, I like Scary Terry, a tremendous player. As far as if you're going to compare Sniper and Scary Terry on here, Flaming Dragon has the thumbs, man. He's got the moves, but is it the right piece to this? You know what I mean? You already got Lemansky, right? You already got D. Mart, and we know what those two are capable of doing. Does he really need Flaming Dragon, or would Sniper have been the better piece on that? We're never gonna know. We're never gonna know unless Sniper gets swapped back out. But I don't know if that was the right move, man. What do you guys think there in the chat? As far like I said, as far as skill wise, yes, I think the move fits it, but does it fit this team? And the other thing was Gyneman. We know Gyneman as a he's proven to be a great solid defenseman. And now you're bringing in Tomahawk on there. Was that an improvement or not? Let's not take away anything here from Hall of Fame's team. They came in here, they got the job done, they won, they swept. But like I said, do we get excited right off the back on that? I mean, it's opening season, opening series on there, and I just feel, maybe it wasn't enough time there for DeMar with the moves prior to the series, and maybe it was the wrong move. So we'll see. I want to get your guys' thoughts there in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. You guys are jokers, man, in there in the chat. I'm trying to keep up with that because I actually got like 2 chats open on here, so I'm trying to. I know there's comments coming in on the Twitch as well as the YouTube, but I'm trying to monitor both. If I missed something, I apologize. So that went down with that. For Tuesday, we move on to Wednesday night. We see more of D. Mort. He goes up against Wizzy on here. Another team that a lot of guys ranked high in their rankings was Wizzy's squad. This was a very close series on here. But D-Mart took 2 out of the 3. Game 1 going in overtime, 2-1 final for D-Mart. He takes game 2 as well, 5-4. And then game 3, Wizzy takes that one 4-3. Now, here's what I saw. With this Wizzy squad, man, they actually could have swept D-Mart in this series, man. But they didn't. They forced game 1 to go to overtime. There was some penalties taken. We mentioned this, before the season. What happens when odd guy starts taking penalties? What he does take a penalty here in overtime. D-Mart squad, I think D-Mart ended up getting the game winner. They get the 2-1 win. Game number 2, Wizzy had a 4-1 lead, and I believe it was in the third period. And they end up, costing that. They lose 5-4. How do you give up a 4-1 lead in the third? That's not Wizzy hockey at all, man. I don't care how good or how great you rank this team. You cannot be giving up 4-1 leads, especially in the third period. They gave up 4 goals in the third to lose 5-4. So when that happens, you deserve to lose the series, man. I don't care how close these scores were. Like I said, Wizzy could have easily swept this series, but you give that up. And in Game 3, they almost did it again. They were up 4-1, but they edged that one out, 4-3 final. They were able to escape that, get a win at least here, not getting swept. But D-Mart bounces back. Like I said, a good win here, taking 2 out of 3, especially against a solid squad like Wizzy on here. So that was the only series on Wednesday, and then Thursday we finished up with 3. There was a lot going on Thursday. We had Hall of Fame again on here against Cobb. He sweeps 3-2 overtime. Game 1 was a bit close there. They let Cobb back in it there to tie it up late in the third, but they still end up winning it 3-2. Game 2 wasn't close, 7-2 final, and Game 3 as well, 4-1. And like I said, Cobb's got a lot to deal with here as far as getting it back. So Hall of Fame ends up sweeping in week 1. They win all their games. They get the 6 points. They're ranked number 1 right now in the standings. But how good is this team, man? I saw a lot of in the chat, in the Discord, man, guys going in there, right after the sweeps, I mean, yes, you got the win, you got the wins you needed on here, but you played Cobb squad and you played a D-Mart squad that did not look ready on there. And here's the thing, man. I gotta watch what I say here because the EA SHL community, the 6v6 hockey, people are very sensitive, man. So maybe the words that I used, people took offense. One in particular, Mr. Ronin over there, roaming Ronin, Dalai Lama, aka, as far as what I said, as far as him, his passes, and him playing in that center spot. Here's the thing. We all know how great he is, right? We all know how great Ronin is. He never played center in this league, okay? In 239, any seasons prior, so I couldn't judge him on that. I couldn't base him on that, But we know how well he plays any of the 6 positions on there pretty well. But we haven't seen Ronin. We haven't seen him a couple seasons on here. He hasn't been in the championship caliber Ronin that we know of. And I just felt he plays soft, man. Here's the thing. And if this did anything on here, I think I lit a fire on Ronin on here because now we're finally getting a Dalai Lama, that we once knew, We're not getting this Dalai Lama that, he's married, he's got a kid, he's a family guy on there. No, we're not getting that. We're not getting that Dalai Lama now because right now he's trying to prove to 239, to the EASHL community of how great he is. We're getting the Dalai Lama that we once knew, you know what I mean? We're getting the Dalai Lama that was competitive. A guy that played in the VHL, man. That was one of the top caliber players, I'm not talking about like you see right now, with LG, all that. It's not that. I'm talking about VHL when hockey was hockey, man. When you played, NHL on there, you had to be good, man. You had to be great. And this guy was, and we finally getting to see that Dalai Lama on here. So if anything, they should be thanking Mr. Hollywood here to bring out that type of Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama that a lot of people hate. The Dalai Lama that people just can't stand, who want to beat him on here, but he ends up winning. He ends up getting on top. That's the Dalai Lama. The last 5 seasons, we haven't seen this type of Dalai. We've seen the nice Dalai on here, the good game. I played. No, this season we're getting the Dalai Lama, which I wish was here prior season. So if anything, but like I said, on this Hall of Fame team, we still got to see. They played Cobb squad and they played D-Mart. That's all we've seen on here. They won. They swept both. We'll see how things go here once they start playing some of those top teams here this season. But a good start nonetheless. So from Thursday, the other game, Pale Poner comes back in action here. But this time Barrett is in the squad. You got the co-owners swap there going up against No Regretskis. They dominated game 1 here. 6-3 win by Barrett. But then game 2 ends up going to overtime. No Regretskis with the OT winner there, 5-4 final. And then game 3, they take that one as well, 7-4. So No Regretskis takes 2 out of the 3 here. I look at this Pale squad here. Maybe I was a bit harsh on them. I ranked them, low. But do I see them as a top team? No, I do not. And I'll tell you why. When they played Cobb's squad, they led Cobb's team back in the game. They made the games close. It was a 1-goal games, game 1. Overtime game 3. And it shouldn't have been that. And then you watch this game here against No Regretskis, they do the same thing. They let a game go to overtime. They took game one, so you're thinking maybe they could take this series, but no. They go to overtime, they lose there. Game three was actually tied 4-4 in the third period, but once again, they can't close it, man. They can't close that games on there, and until they do, then I will respect Pale's team here, but until that point here, I still got him same spot. I'm not changing my rankings on this squad here, and I'm not impressed. Like I said, I'm not impressed by this Pale squad. We'll see what they do here for week 2. Despite the 6-3 win over No Regretskis in that game 1, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on that. And then finally we had these two teams debuted. They only played one series this week. That's Freak against Big C on here. Freak took game 1, 3-2. What a battle that one was. Big C bounces back game 2, 5-3 final. And then in the rubber game 3, which ends up going to overtime. And Freak squad does win that 6-5 to take the series. It was sloppy though, man. I gotta admit here, even though Freak's team did win, they were up 5-2 in this game. Okay, you drafted Dominator Silva, all that money, who ends up giving up a 5-2 lead to send the game to overtime, where you barely edge it out on there. That can't happen, man. That can't happen on this. Like I said, it wasn't pretty. Freak did get the squad, but I want to see more of these two teams. Like I said, this is the only series that I could judge these two on here. I still like Big C's squad, despite the loss here. I think they bounce back here this week. As far as Freak, like I said, they just got to figure that out, man. Dom Silva, man, what's going on, brother? So that takes care of that. Let me see what do we got here in the chat, man. Oh, my God. What's up, Chum Lee? Respect, brother. Drug says we got to review Ronin's assists, man. Well, last time I checked, I think his goals to assist, the goals were still higher. But here's the thing. I don't know. The stats, how accurate they are, because they show Pale Poner 6-0, and we know that ain't true. Blame the older brother. Listen, here's the thing, man. I know Marty McFly, man, and I know when stuff doesn't look good for Marty McFly, he likes to pull the trigger. Where Dan will at least try the guy, man. Dan will at least play a game or two, you know what I mean? And that wasn't the case with Geineman, It was like, boom, this guy's got to go, you know what I mean? So that's why I feel it was a Marty move, man. I don't care what anyone says on that. And once again, I am in the chat there on the Talk It Up, which is open on there. If anybody wants to hop in, place any comments or questions, you're welcome to do so. Hey, Drudge, man, what's up, brother? What's up? How you, man? How you on this Sunday night? Morbid Angel, man. What do you guys know about that? So what else did I have on the recap here? What do you guys think about No Regretskis, man? This squad. There was a lot of hype coming in here, man. Are they still number one? Are they still the team to beat? You look at the standings right now, they're not. You know what I mean? Right now, Hall of Fame is on top. But like I said, there's been reschedules and stuff. Is No Regretskis still a deal here, man? Was it just a week 1 thing? Are they going to bounce back here and start dominating on this? It was a lot of overtime games. They were in actually 3 overtime games here in the 2 series. They lost 2 of those. Or did Ratterley just have them figured out here? You know what I mean? But they did lose a game also to Pale's squad there. So I don't know. Maybe it's the hype. But you look at that squad, and it's a lot of those guys play, like, they not only here in 239, they play other leagues, man. So they already got the built-in chemistry. I'm talking about vibes. I'm talking about, no regret skis, BLK. You know what I mean? There's already chemistry built with those guys right there. But what is it? What's the downfall on here so far? Is it the goaltending? Is it the defense? Because based on the power rankings, I know they lost, the overtime games, but these games shouldn't even be close. These matchups shouldn't even be close on there. They were projected to completely dominate this season, but that's definitely not been the case on here. What do you guys think so far? What the downfall is in that No Regretsky squad? And you guys see them bouncing back here this week? Johnny Bale says lots of large leads blown, close calls. Yeah, man. There were a lot of and Wizzy War was involved in a lot of those against Dean Mart. That's for sure. Um, I don't know what else I had here on the agenda, and like I said, I wish I could do give you guys the stars, give you guys the uh, you know updated rankings, my top performers, but we don't got them. Last I checked here, like right before the show, I made sure I refreshed on there. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't look like it's entered in there as we speak. So, oh, maybe now there is. I do see some. Okay, looks like they're being entered. So that's a good sign, man. That's a good sign. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late for the show, but we do have stats being inputted on here, which is great. So we're actually going to see the correct standings. I believe Johnny Bells did have the accurate standings on his stream. So Barrett's definitely going to come down on there. You're going to have Hall of Fame, the only undefeated team here so far. And then I believe D-Mart and No Regret Skis, because they got a couple wins there. A1 Freak. And then the rest there. Like I said, there's makeup games. Really wasn't much games because of the reschedules, but I know we're getting a lot here this week. I think every team's playing the 2 series here this week. And they will be coming to you guys live on Johnny Bell's stream there on Twitch TV. As always, he'll bring you guys the action of all the games, all the coverage. Shout out to him there in the chat there as well. So there's a lot of good number of OT games. Yeah. I agree. Did see there. So, I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, I do talk a lot about some of these teams on here, but I did say it's going to be a good season because the way the draft went, everybody's got a big time player on the squad. Everybody's got one of those guys that could just win you the games, man. Could carry a team, and that's why we're seeing this. We're seeing, I think, these upset wins, these wins that nobody thought it was going to happen, but are. So I think it's going to be a much more competitive season than maybe some think. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't think I had anything else here on the agenda. Like I said, I think that's believe I had on here. I'll try to get a guest for next week here for you guys, and hopefully if I could run this on a Saturday, I could definitely get a co-host here as well on the broadcast, and we'll definitely have more coverage for that. So if I gotta wait like a week for the stats, I guess that's how we'll do it. I'll give you guys the week 1 stats next week for this, or maybe I'll do a show during the week if I got time for that. But that's all I got here for you guys. Like I said, leave your comments, questions, suggestions you guys want to see on the show here, what you guys wanted me to bring out. I want it to be more interactive with you guys, more, getting guys here on the show, getting maybe a guest each week, and giving more analysis on the stats as well, man. I do love stats. I like doing that. I like doing rankings on that. So hopefully we could get those in next week, and then that'll definitely add more, more input here to the stream and to the show. But if nobody's got any further questions on here, well, thank everybody tuning in. I know it's a Sunday too, man, which kind of sucks. I was looking at hopefully doing more of on a Saturday. I think we'll have more live interaction for that because I think Saturday just works out much better for that. Sunday night, everybody's getting ready for work or stuff for tomorrow. But if you're checking out the stream the next day, feel free to do so. That's all I got here, Mr. Hollywood, for this Sunday night. Thank everybody here that tuned in. And enjoy yourselves, enjoy your week, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, everybody.